हेलो स्टूडेंट्स। अभी तक आपने मेरे मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग की 3 वीडियोस को देखा, जिसमें मैंने बेसिक थर्मोडायनेमिक्स और उसमें जो कॉन्सेप्ट हैं बेसिक थर्मोडायनेमिक्स के, जैसे कि डिफरेंट टाइप्स के सिस्टम्स, क्या क्या प्रॉपर्टीज़ होती हैं, वो प्रॉपर्टीज़ कब मेज़र करनी चाहिए, इन सब के बारे में, थर्मोडायनामिक्स एनर्जी, सिस्टम की एनर्जी क्या होती है, इसके बारे में हमने डिटेल में डिस्कस किया था, जो कि आपने मेरे लास्ट 3 वीडियो लेक्चर्स में देखे होंगे। अब मेरा बेसिक थर्मोडायनामिक्स का ये चौथा वीडियो मैं आपके शेयर करने जा रहा हूँ, जिसमें आप देखेंगे कि किस तरह के डिफरेंट प्रोसेसेस होते हैं। क्वासी स्टैटिक प्रोसेस क्या होता है, रिवर्सिबल और इरिवर्सिबल प्रोसेसेस क्या होते हैं, इनको किस तरह से थर्मोडायनामिक्स में हमको यूज़ करना है। तो ये सारे प्रोसेस को आप देखें और इससे एक आपका अच्छा कॉन्सेप्ट बिल्डअप होगा। इसके साथ ही साथ इस बार मैंने डिसाइड किया है कि मैं मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग की पूरी लेक्चर सीरीज को आपके सामने पेश करूंगा, जो कि आपके गेट 2022 के एग्जाम्स के लिए बहुत ही बेनिफिशियल होगी। तो अभी हम लोग थर्मोडायनेमिक्स को कर रहे हैं। 4th लेक्चर के बाद जब मेरा 5th लेक्चर आएगा तो वो वर्क ट्रांसफर एंड हीट ट्रांसफर पे होगा, और इसी के अनुसार हम लोग मूव करते चलेंगे, लाइक फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स, देन सेकंड लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स, एंट्रोपी, अवेलेबिलिटी। तो लेक्चर बाय लेक्चर ये आपको लेक्चर शेयर करते जाऊंगा, यूट्यूब पे आपको अवेलेबल होते रहेंगे। जैसे ही थर्मोडायनेमिक्स मेरा कंप्लीट होगा, फिर हम लोग नए टॉपिक को स्टार्ट कर देंगे, लाइक योर स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल। तो इस तरीके से हम लोग पूरे मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग को कवर अप करेंगे, और ये मैं आपको गेट के एग्ज़ाम के पहले तक बहुत अच्छे से कॉन्सेप्चुअली समझाते हुए, बहुत अच्छे अच्छे क्वेश्चंस को डिस्कस करते हुए आपको वीडियोस में अवेलेबल कराऊंगा। तो आप इन वीडियोस से गो थ्रू होइए, इससे अपने कॉन्सेप्ट को बिल्डअप करिए, और मेरा विश्वास है कि आप जब इसको पढ़ेंगे, इसको देखेंगे और इससे सीखेंगे और उसको आप अपने पे अप्लाई करेंगे, तो देन यू विल फाइंड दैट देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंस यू विल फील इन द मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग पार्ट फॉर एनी कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जामिनेशन। तो आई होप कि यू विल फॉलो द लेक्चर्स एंड यू विल डू एज पर माय सजेशंस, और आपके जो भी सजेशंस हों उसको कमेंट बॉक्स पे दीजिए और मेरे से डायरेक्टली कांटेक्ट करिए। आई विल फील वेरी हैप्पी। थैंक यू।
Now next is cyclic process. What is cyclic process? So I have already explained you, from state 1 to state 2 we move from different process, and this process is not necessarily that it is a single process, that from 1 to 2 we have moved by isochoric process or isothermal process. Basically it can be the combination of more than 2 or 3 processes also. Cyclic process is nothing but when we move, suppose, from one point as air, from one point to another point through 2 to 3, then from 3 to 1, then from 1 to 2. So if the system starts from any point, let us assume that the system starts from point 2, and after different processes the system reaches to its original position, then this process is basically known as the cyclic process. So what is the cyclic process? Cyclic process is nothing but its initial state and the final state of the system is always constant. The initial state and final state of the system is always constant, means system reaches to its initial state and final state in the same point. Means similarly, system start from here, it moves from 1 to 2, then from 2 to 3 system reaches to this point, and then from 3 to 1 system reaches by this process, then 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and 3 to 1. So this is known as your cyclic process. Okay, now as I have told you that property is a point function, so at every point the value of the property will be same. So suppose here the property is P1, I am P representing as a value of the property at this particular state. At point 2 the value of the property is P2. Then if the system moves from 1 to 2, then what is the change in this property? The change in the property is nothing but it is P2 minus P1. P2 minus P1 is the change in property. This is nothing but change in property from 1 to 2. Similarly, when the system moves from 2 to 3, now the system reaches to the new point 3, and let us assume that its property will be P3. So, when the system moves from state 2 to state 3, then what is the change in the property? It is nothing but final property minus initial property. This is the change in property from 2 to 3. And finally, the system reaches from 3 to 1, that is its original point from where the system has started its journey. So, what is the change in this property? It is nothing but it is P1 minus P3. This is from 3 to 1. So, in this entire cyclic process, if we find the change in property in cyclic process, so what is the change in property in this cyclic process? It is first 1 to 2 change, that is P2 minus P1, so P2 minus P1, plus second from 2 to 3, so what is the change? It is P3 minus P2, so it is P3 minus P2, and finally it is P1 minus P3. So this changes will become to 0. So the total change in the property in the cyclic process is always 0. This is very important. The change in property in the cyclic process is equal to 0, and this is the basically building block for the first law of thermodynamics, Joule's law. We use this property that the change in internal energy is in a cyclic process is always equal to 0. So always remember that there is a change in property in any of the cyclic process will always equal to 0, because the property is your point function. It does not depend upon the path. So at each and every point we check the properties, and when the change in property becomes 0 in the entire process, then we say that the system moves in a cyclic process. Now the next is the next process is which is very important, is reversible process and irreversible process. So what is the reversible process and what is irreversible process? We have told that system moves from state 1 to state 2 with the help of some process. Obviously, and we measure the value of the properties. Let us assume this is my state number 1, and we move from state 1 to state number 2. Obviously, so at state 1 we measure the value of properties, definitely, and the system must have to be in equilibrium, thermodynamic equilibrium. I have explained the thermodynamic equilibrium. So system must have to be in thermodynamic equilibrium at the state 1 for measuring the property of the system. Similarly, when it reaches to the point 2, the system, then it must have to be in thermodynamic equilibrium. So there must be some changes taking place when the system moves from 1 to 2 in the properties values. So the value of the changes in property takes place from moving state 1 to state 2. Now, when we reverse back, we retrace from the same path. Then what will happen? Obviously, when system reaches from state number 1 to state number 2, the system changes its value of property, and suppose this entire thing is your universe, and universe doesn't have any changes. There is no change in the universe. So when the system has changes, then definitely the surrounding will also change, because the net change effect will be zero, because universe has no changes. So at point 1 to point 2, when the system changes, some change in the property of the system takes place, then definitely the surrounding changes must have taken place at the same time. For example, suppose if I give you 1000 rupees to you, then if I have 1000 less amount, then simultaneously you have 1000 more amount, because the entire thing total changes is zero. Total in this classroom is a universe, then change in the amount is zero. But if I consider myself, then I have 1000 rupees loss, and if you consider yourself, then you have a 1000 rupees gain. So whenever there is a change in system, then automatically the change in surroundings also takes place. But as a whole in the universe, the net changes is equal to zero. So when the system reaches from state 1 to state 2, then the system must have some changes, and on the basis of that changes, surrounding automatically changes. So what is the reversible process? Reversible process says कि when we retrace the system from 1 to 2, 2 to 1, system moves from 1 to 2 and we retrace the system from 2 to 1, then whatever with the changes has taken place, if all the changes are gained by the system, then this process is known as reversible process. When system is being retraced, with the retraced means system has to follow the same path as it moves earlier. It can never be something like that कि system is moving back from 2 to 1 in this curved path. No, it has to retrace, because system first moved from 1 to 2 in this straight line, then it must have to reverse itself from 2 to 1 in this straight line by this arrow. Okay, it can never be the curved path. So if system moves from state 2 to state 1 and it regained all the losses, means when the system reaches to the point 1 from 2 to 1, then whatever be the changes has taken place, the entire changes will be equal to zero by considering system and surrounding. Then this is known as your reversible process. But it is not possible. In general practice, it is not possible. So reversible process is nothing but it is your ideal process. It is your ideal process. It never exists in actuality. Reversible process never exists. But as far as engineering is concerned, since we have to design the system, so we consider each and every process as a reversible process for reducing our calculation work, for the designing work. We take it as a reversible process. But it is not existing in nature. It is your ideal process. So next one is your irreversible. Irreversible means spontaneous. What is spontaneous? Spontaneity means which occurs by itself. Which occurs by itself. Suppose movement of time. Time always moves in a forward direction. Time movement is always in a forward direction. We cannot go back. Okay, flow of water always takes from higher latitude to lower latitude. Okay, water always flows in this direction. It never happened that we move spontaneously, water flowing from lower height to higher height. This can be done, but this can be done with the help of some external device which is known as pump. With the help of pump, the water can flow from lower latitude to higher latitude, but spontaneously, as far as the nature of the water is concerned, it never flows from lower to higher. Similarly, flow of gas, so blowing of gas, so gas always blows from higher concentration to lower concentration. It never moves from lower concentration to higher concentration. Mixing of gas. So these type of the basically these type of the examples are your irreversible process examples. Means this cannot be retraced back. It can never be done by spontaneously. Time cannot move by its own in a backward direction. Water cannot flow from lower height to higher height. It can be done with the help of some other external device like your pump. Pump is external device for water. So in irreversible process, if we retrace, then obviously some changes takes place. Some changes takes place from state 1 to state 2. Suppose earlier we move in this path and then we have retraced it back, then some changes will takes place, and due to this changes we say that this is your irreversible process. And this changes takes place because of what? Because of friction, because of eddies, and because of so many reasons the changes takes place, and whatever be the changes has taken place cannot be regained by the system itself. Means some changes also being occurred when the system is retraced from state 1 to state 2, or then from state 2 to state 1. So this type of the process is basically known as irreversible process, and irreversible process is a natural process which occurs spontaneously. So irreversible process is a natural process which occurs spontaneously. Now the next one is your quasi-static process. What is quasi-static process? This is again a very important process. As I have told you that at each and every state we have to find the value of the property. Like this is our initial state, this is my initial state, and this is my final state. Then we have to find out the value of the property, and on the basis of the value of this property we analyze the system. Okay, good. So now, and we also know that the value of the property is being measured when the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium. So if we move from state 1 to state 2, then in a big way, suppose this is a big path from state 1 to state 2, and there are so many different points. For example, if I explain you with the help of an example, something like, as in the first example I have explained that there is our state number 1 and this is our state number 2. Here we have measured the pulse rate was 62 or 60 per minute pulse rate, and here after reaching the step it was 62 per minute. After reaching equilibrium condition the pulse rate was 62 per minute. Okay, and when the man was running, then at each and every point the value of the thermodynamic property has been changed proper. Now in another point, suppose this is our point 1 to point 2, and we ask the man to move very slowly and slowly, means their steps are something like this. He is moving something like this, means very slowly and slowly the man is moving. Then what will happen? Obviously its rate, pulse rate is not varying very fast, and at each and every point, these points, at each and every point the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium with its surrounding. Means what we can say, that when the path is being subdivided into some small part in such a way that at each and every point the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium with the surrounding, so that we can measure the value of the property at each and every point. So such type of the process is known as quasi-static process. Such type of process, quasi-static. such type of process is known as quasi-static process. Quasi-static process is when the system has been subdivided into so many small parts that at each and every point the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium with the surrounding. So such a process is known as quasi-static process, and in the quasi-static process at each and every point we can find out the value of the properties. So what is the benefit of the quasi-static process? The benefit of the quasi-static process is that when we retrace the system again, then since the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium at each and every point, so whatever with the changes has taken place at each and every point, we can easily regain that changes. So the quasi-static process is your reversible process. While from 1 to 2 state, if we move in a very fast manner, and again when we move from 2 to 1, then whatever with the changes has taken place, we cannot regain it. So this process is a spontaneous process. It is your irreversible. It is your irreversible process. While the same result will be obtained by dividing the path into so many small parts. So the quasi-static process is that, and this is your reversible process. So always make sure that quasi-static process is a reversible process, or every reversible process is a quasi-static process, and vice versa. Every quasi-static is a reversible and every reversible is a quasi-static process. So it is so whenever we consider the process in thermodynamic, we always consider that particular process is a quasi-static process. We always consider, we never write it that it is in a quasi-static process, but we always consider that from state 1 to state 2, if a system is moving, it means the system is moving with the help of the quasi-static process. Means we break the system into so many small parts, so that at each and every point the system is in thermodynamic equilibrium with its surrounding. So in this what we have studied the system. Thermodynamic is nothing but is the variation of temperature on the basis of the energy. We find out whatever be the changes is being taking place, and the system is very important in thermodynamics. Because without defining the system we cannot find out any value, because we have to analyze the properties of the system. So since we have to analyze the properties of a system, so it is very important to define the system. Once we define the system, then we have to find out its characteristics, which is with the help of processes, with the help of the properties. At property is a point function. At each and every point we find out the value of the property. Then we move from one state to another state with the help of some process. Then we must have a knowledge of the processes. And quasi-static process we have to make it in mind, because the process has to be break into so many small parts, so that it can be your continuous equilibrium at each and every point. Here a very important phenomena also arises. In quasi-static process, you see that once the system is moving in a very small parts, so it seems that system is moving in a continuous manner. Okay, here the system is moving in a discrete fashion. This point, then this point, then this point, and here each and every point are very close to one another, so that the system behaves like is in a continuous process, continuous movement. So this concept of continuous process of the system is known as concept of continuum, which is again very important. What is the continuum? So continuum is nothing but it is the process of continuous process. When the system moves from state 1 to state 2 with the help of quasi-static process, it means the system path has been break into so many small parts, so that it seems to be a continuous process. So it is the process of continuum. Thank you.